dream to work? Are we surprised at all? No, not in the least. So bear with me just a second. Yeah, I know if you're waiting on the other stream, you're probably going to be disappointed. It just would not open. So here we are. So let's give it just a second for people to maybe find it. And then I'm going to start talking about the eclipse, Mercury retrograde, Taurus season. There's a lot to cover. Plus, I'd like to draw some cards. And they seem to be very much on par this morning. I was drawing them earlier and it's like, yeah, this is going to be a good one. It's going to be a real good one. Except, we're probably going to have technology problems or issues with the stream or something. And yep, we did. So, okay. Hopefully, sorry about that. I know that was loud. I'm trying to get it together here. Bear with me. Okay, so let's start with cleaning the area before we begin. Hope you guys can see okay. This is not my regular setup. I am traveling. So yeah, just bear with me. It says we're live. Hello, hello. So yeah, sorry, the other stream would just not play because hey, Mercury retrograde. Yeah. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's get this started. I know we'll have more people coming in, but yeah, let's go. So welcome to today's live video on the energy surrounding the April 19th through 20th solar eclipse in Aries. I'm Sarah Parker Thomas, and I'm thrilled to be your host today. In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating world of astrology. We're going to look at the energy and how it relates to this cosmic event and all the events really that are going on. We're going to talk about moving into Taurus season, about Mercury retrograde, pull some cards, chat, and just have some fun. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's get to this. Grab a favorite beverage, sit back, and let's check out the celestial realm. And before we get into the details of the astrology, yeah, I'm live. I'll move stuff around so you can see. Yeah, I'm here. I wanted to share a personal story. As an avid energy worker and student of all that is mystical, yeah, you guys know me, I've always been captivated by the cosmic connection between the planets and the celestial bodies, and the events that go on and how they impact the world and us both personally and globally. And when you start really going back through history and looking, it's amazing that you go back and you see that on these dates this has happened, and you start really seeing the patterns. So yeah, I think the upcoming eclipse has been on the radar for months, and I've been eagerly researching and analyzing the predictions associated with it. I've been talking to a lot of astrologers and energy workers to kind of get their take on it as well. And there's a lot of buzz online too, and maybe you've seen that or read an article or two about it. It always is a big change. Whenever we have eclipse, it just knocks everything kind of out of our way and starts a new chapter. But I think this one instead of starting a new chapter, we'll start a new book. And pardon me just a minute. I've checked in with my guides, and I'm excited to share some of my findings today too with you, some of the lessons and the messages that I've received from them about the impact of this. So what exactly is an eclipse? Well, an eclipse is a phenomenon that occurs when the sun, moon, and earth align in a specific way, causing a temporary obstruction or darkening of either the moon, a lunar eclipse, or the sun, a solar eclipse. Eclipses have been thought to be a supercharged mystical event by many cultures throughout history. So it isn't something, that is relatively new in astrology that we've just, assigned this value to. No, this has been going on for a very long time. In ancient times, they were often seen as omens for signs of impending change, which, yeah, we know that's true now, isn't it? And transformation. For example, many indigenous cultures, eclipses were believed to herald significant shifts in weather patterns, crop cycles, and even human behavior. In Chinese astrology, eclipses were thought to foretell the fate of the emperor and the country, and there's also some myths about the celestial dragon swallowing the sun, too, that are very interesting. And in ancient Hindu mythology, a demon, who we won't name, was said to swallow the sun during the solar eclipse, causing temporary darkness and chaos, or to drink from a sacred fountain and be beheaded during this time. So it's really interesting. Oh, I think my incense has gone out. It's really an interesting time when we go and we look back at these ancient cultures and the events, and then look at what happened historically too. So yeah, really interesting. And of course, the Greeks and Romans had their own mythology, as well as most all the Native Americans. Oh, and it is storming here, so yeah, you hear the rain? It's really coming down right now. So okay, back to this one. A solar eclipse always unfolds in place of a new moon, while a lunar eclipse always occurs instead of a full moon. So these are kind of like glitches in our typical 28-day lunar cycle, and they're a big sign that, guess what? Nothing is in our control. And all we can do is basically get out of the way and allow the stuff to happen and quit trying to micromanage everything. We are taught that if we're not, if we're not doing something proactive, then we're slacking off. But there are times when you have to step back and just let things happen. And during an eclipse is a pivotal time anyway for us to realize this lesson. They also push us into our shadow self and force us to really look at the truth of what's going on in our life and how we got to this place. So you may experience some sudden epiphanies too. We call them popcorn epiphanies at Serenity because they pop up out of the blue like popcorn popping, and your bowl may run over quickly with sudden understandings and information that are part of this knowledge that just kind of comes flooding in during this time. And the thing is, when these happen, when these epiphanies happen, it's really wise to write them down because they may be fleeting. What makes total sense as they are revealed to us may not mean anything a week later. So it's really important that you journal them. An eclipse always takes place in the same zodiac sign as the North Node or the South Node, which unlocks the door to your potential and sets you free from old beliefs or attachments. The South Node symbolizes our past lives and karma. Yeah, and the North Node guides us towards the future. And because an eclipse brings you to a crossroads of your karmatic path, it speeds us towards our ultimate destiny, often when we least expect it, and often in ways that we least expect it. So this can obviously be overwhelming. Yeah, and you may feel excited by this profound energy change, but also kind of overwhelmed at the same time, and that is completely normal. All we can do is have faith that no matter what happens, it's a destined course correction for us. So we do have free choice, we do, but I think personally that we live a life with destiny points. There are certain things, certain lessons, certain karma we must work through. How we approach them when they happen may not always be clear, and they may be up to us and the decisions we make, but we will face these things. So there you go. They kind of, the eclipse are kind of that, like I said, course correction that get us on the path so that we can accomplish what we're here to accomplish, like it or not. So depending on where you are in the world, this event takes place on April the 20th or April the 21st. Eastern time, for my folks there in the Eastern time zone, it's going to take place on the 21st at 12:12 a.m. You think that's significant? Yeah. So yeah, very significant. The total solar eclipse in Aries will land at 29 degrees, taking place just 2 months before the North Node officially enters Aries on July the 17th. Because the North Node represents the energy of the collective, it's also moving us forward collectively. So we're dealing with this in a personal manner, of course, but we're also dealing with this as a collective, moving forward, trying to break free from these chains of suffering, trying to break free from our own karmatic lessons, and trying to, find our place and our destiny. So because a north node represents this energy, it can feel almost like we're being shoved out of our comfort zone and forced to take action. Um, and it's uncomfortable, very, but it is for our best and our highest good. So just remember that. Because the solar eclipse takes place on exactly 29 degrees, it is incredibly powerful. The 29th degrees is the last degree of Aries, which can be viewed as the final push before one reaches the end of the journey. So in other words, you're really close to reaching your destination, your goal, your ultimate success, that, finding that true love, getting that perfect job. You're really close to it, but for some reason, it just hasn't come forward. So this eclipse will, that was kind of blurry, wasn't it? Will push us forward and get us out of our comfort zone and get us where we need to be to embrace this new energy and to embrace our destiny. So yeah, not to be overly dramatic, but wow. Aries is considered to be a very passionate and competitive sign. They can also be very argumentative, and they can be very hard-headed too. But they generally get stuff done. They make good leaders, and they generally move things forward. So this means that the change could occur in a very passionate and uncomfortable and overwhelming way if we apply the Aries energy to it. So just keep that in mind, that whatever's being cleared is also creating space for something very important and necessary to come forward. And we will feel the effects of this eclipse for the next 6 months. So yeah. If you don't notice the change immediately, give it time to settle in place. And for some people, it'll be just like a small hiccup. You may not be able to sleep good tonight. Other than that, you're golden. For the rest of us, yeah, it may be a little bit more difficult. But I don't want this to be all doom and gloom, because it's not. This is a really good thing happening. Anything that moves us forward on our spiritual path and on our destined path is a good thing. It's going to depend on how much we are ready to accept, how prepared we are for these changes, and also how hard-headed we're going to be about these changes. So the window to change has actually been open for several weeks before the eclipse, so you may already be feeling the experiences of it. And it's kind of difficult to really tell what is that and what is Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde is about to begin, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. But we're in the pre-shadow of Mercury, which means we're probably already experiencing those hiccups, the making an appointment and then forgetting all about it, or sending a personal email to your boss that you really shouldn't have sent, or being an offender bender, breaking your favorite mug, forgetting something, having your live stream not work, those kinds of things. Generally, Mercury retrograde is not about horrible things happening. It's more being moved out of our comfort zone and being pushed to check and double check things, having issues with travel, having issues with, making deadlines or things like that. So it's not a horrible thing. It just makes us focus more attention on ourselves and on what we're doing instead of just kind of floating around. So we've got that energy going on as well. And we have some interesting revelations that are going to pop up around May the 5th, when we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Yay! Won't that be a good one? Yeah. So if your sun, moon, or north node, south node, or your rising sign falls on Aries, or any of your major planets for that matter, is in Aries, then this will definitely spark a major transformation. Now, it will affect us all, but Aries, Cancer, Taurus, and Capricorn, no, and Libra too, I believe. Yeah, and Libra will definitely feel this energy. Aries, it's time for you to be the person you're meant to be. So this means no more fooling around. This is the time to get serious and go after those goals. And you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone into doing just those things. And you can do it. You have the ability. It just may mean that you're going to have to shift your focus from play to other more important things that maybe you're kind of putting off. For Cancer, this is all about success, and it will take a sacrifice for you to move out of the current energy that you're in, and you've got to give it your all. But you have the ability right now during the next 6 months to achieve unbelievable success. But with it, you're going to have to lessen some of the responsibilities that you've taken on for other people, and you're going to have to start thinking more about yourself and what benefits you the best rather than the people that you're nurturing and taking care of. So it's going to be a difficult time for Cancer in that way. But once you commit to that path, things will get a lot easier. For Libra, this is all about healthy relationships or nothing at all. So you have been in relationships that were not healthy. You've been in relationships that were not rewarding, and you've been in relationships you didn't really care about just because you were kind of bored. And no judgment. I think we've probably all been there from time to time. But you're caught in that pattern. You're texting a lot of people. You're talking to a lot of people, but nobody is holding your attention. So this big push is going to be for you to get clear on what you will accept and not accept, and stop wasting your time with relationships that are not going anywhere. I think you're probably going to pick being solitary over bad relationships. And this is a huge turning point for you in your life. It may sound scary, may sound frightening, but you're clearing the way for the real relationships to come forward. These were just pretend and play stuff. So the new ones are going to be healthy, they're going to be nurturing, and they're going to be what you actually want and what you deserve too. For Capricorn, this is about moving your residence, moving your business, and coming to terms with home is not a place, it's a state of mind. You're very successful. Oh, hi there. Hi, Madam Kate. Good to see you. Capricorn, you're very successful and you're making headway, but it's time to let go of some of the old rigid thinking so that you can embrace this new success and you can move forward. So I would say a big personal move from changing residence to moving on from relationships that no longer serve you or in the works for Capricorn natives. So a lot happening. So now that I've told you that stuff, let's look at what you can do to harness this energy. I did a quick little checklist thing, which I put it as a blog post and also put it on Instagram, and I got some comments about that. Let me take a drink of water and I'll talk about that. So one of the things people have been asking me, I put on there no craft work, and there was a lot of, what do you mean by this? I mean, yes, you can knit and crochet, that's fine. You can do crafts. What I was talking about was spiritual crafts or rituals or witchcraft. Because during an eclipse, the energy is wonky. So what you're doing, even though you may be manifesting for the highest good of everyone around you and trying to feed the poor and heal the sick, it could boomerang around and do God knows what. So it's best to just wait until after the 22nd, really, to do any craft work. So that's what I meant by that. So this is a time of self-reflection, and that's not always easy. Let's be honest. We don't really like to sit with our own shit, do we? I mean, come on. But this is what it's going to take. It's going to take us getting real with what's going on with ourselves internally and externally. The choices that we're making, the reactions that we're having, and the changes we're trying to manifest are all linked together. So during this time, it's great to journal, meditate, or contemplate to get any kind of insights on those areas of your life that may need attention or transformation. And I mean, honestly, we know what they are. We may be running from our finances, or we may be overlooking a situation in a relationship, but ultimately we know what we need to work on. So this is the time to do just that. This is also the time to set clear intentions, not do a big ritual, not do anything like that, but just get clear on what you want to manifest. What do you need to release during this time? You can focus on positive affirmations. It's fine to do affirmations during this time. Just don't turn them into a ritual. Just be very circumspect with what you're saying too. I have affirmations on this channel and on the other channels too, but as long as you make sure that they're positive, use positive words, and make them in the now, not in the future. So in other words, I am healed is a good affirmation as opposed to I am healing in the future, right? So stick to stuff like that and you should be fine. This is a time when we must all ground, practice grounding practices. There are many different types of techniques you can use, from spending time in nature. You can practice yoga or meditate to stay centered and balanced during this intense time. You can do Native American types of groundings. And if you guys want, I'll do a grounding in just a minute too, so everybody here can ground. Another big thing to do is self-care. Practice healthy self-care. So self-care is one of those buzzwords, you know, it's a term that we talk about all the time in the healing community, but in reality, serve the one you love, yeah. But in reality, a lot of people get confused because self-care is not about bubble baths and mani-pedis. It can be. I mean, if that is your happy place and that makes you feel good and restored, then hey, go for it. But for most people, that's maintenance. And maintenance is just another damn thing to do on the to-do list, isn't it? So that doesn't count as self-care. Self-care is something you do that restores you. That could be reading, it could be journaling, it could be painting, it could be listening to music, walking in nature, spending time with a friend or a loved one, a pet. Any of these things also count as self-care. So take care of you, take care of your emotions, and give yourself time to process this energy. And it will be much easier to navigate the changes because you are allowing time to process them. Stay flexible and adaptable during this time. Be open to change. And especially with Mercury retrograde going on, you know, sometimes we have to step back and laugh at the situation because there's nothing else to do. You know, it's ironic things coming forward, things where we need to just step back and allow it to happen, allow things to flow. We need to embrace the opportunities for growth and transformation in whatever avenue they bring forward. So I was getting stuff ready to pack because, you know, guys, I'm traveling right now, hence me not being at home. And I have way too many books. I have a lot of books. And I have packed a few with me, but most of them were on my laptop. But I had a paperback book and several hardback books I was considering bringing. And then I had one that I hadn't seen in years fall out of the shelf onto my foot, and it was titled The Path of the Eclipse. So it's like, yeah, perfect timing, right? Okay, so that's what's going on with the eclipse. That's a lot. All right, let's talk about moving into a mellower time with Taurus season. Let me get a drink of water and we'll talk about that. And we're gonna still pull some cards and do some other stuff too. So we got a lot happening here. And if you're coming from the other stream, I do apologize. Yeah, it's Mercury energy, and I couldn't get the other stream to start, so I am sorry. I will delete it when we finish this and replace it with this one. Okay, and I haven't asked, can everybody hear me? I'm assuming you can because people are hanging out and they're not, you know, sending negative messages. So I hope you can hear me. Okay, so let's talk about Taurus season. Well, we're moving out of Aries season, which was all of that fiery energy, all of that can-do attitude, and it made us more likely also to take risks and to do things that we needed to take care of. If we harness the energy of Aries, we can get a lot done, the things that we've been putting off. But we can also end up, you know, kind of getting lost and doing fun things, which there's nothing wrong with that unless you have a really long to-do list. So we're leaving that energy and we're moving into mellow Taurus season. And this will be a time of processing and clearing. Taurus is symbolized by the bull. It's the first earth sign of the zodiac. And of course, earth signs are all very grounded, they're very sensible, and they're generally very level-headed. So hopefully you have a Taurus in your life that can help you navigate through some of the more challenging times. Taurus is always a good, dependable friend too. Taurus is associated with the material world, objects, money, food, environmentalism, resources of all kinds, including higher learning and financial institutes, because higher learning is definitely a resource. So Taurus covers all of these things, and they're known for being very dedicated and not giving up. If they start something, they generally finish it, even though they may decide halfway through that's not for them. But they made a commitment, so they're going to finish it. So, yeah, I mean, definitely everybody should have a Taurus in their life. So, this energy is going to be a godsend, really, with the eclipse going on and Mercury going on, because it's going to be that grounding factor that balances things out and allows for us to catch a break. We need to go slow. We need to think about things other than the spiritual realm during this time, which is kind of difficult with an eclipse and Mercury going on, right? We need to keep one foot in both worlds, and we need to seek clarity. And clarity can be difficult during an eclipse and also during Mercury. So Taurus is the friend that says, but wait a minute, it probably wasn't a ghost. So, yeah. So the Taurus energy is a really good thing. Let's embrace it and let's try and stay grounded, okay? All right, so of course we have Mercury retrograde, which begins tomorrow, April 21st, and runs until May the 14th, also in the sign of Taurus. So each Mercury is flavored by the sign it happens in. So I'm not going to go too much into what Mercury is, because I think most everybody here knows what Mercury retrograde is. Hi, Madam Kate. Yep, time of processing, embrace it. That's it. So this is a time when we're dealing with hiccups like the wrong train, getting on the wrong train, a fender bender, lost phone, emails that were sent to the wrong people, missed appointments, etc. If you're traveling, make sure to plan for delays and backup plans. Purchase insurance on everything and make sure you confirm everything. If you're having lunch with a friend and you're going to meet at your regular spot, don't be surprised if suddenly it's closed or it's moved, or somebody else has taken over the place and it's a completely different shop. Those kind of things just kind of pop out of the blue. And also, people from our past, best friends from elementary school, past lovers show up, exes show up during this time, because we're given the opportunity to continue lessons with them. Does this mean anything? Is it significant that they're showing up? Is it a sign from the universe that you should go back together? No, it's not. It's a sign of lessons. You are free to engage with more lessons. So for instance, let's say you're dating someone, it was a good relationship, and then it went south, and then you broke up. So maybe you need closure. Maybe you need to talk things through or tell them how you really felt, or something like that. This would be that opportunity. The thing is, when relationships start in Mercury retrograde, they have a tendency to be really passionate in the beginning and then fail, because the energy's moving backwards, right? And then it changes back over. So there are many relationships that begin during this time, end, and then come back around during the next Mercury retrograde, or maybe 10 years later even. So don't be surprised if that happens. If you want to re-engage, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. But expect the person to probably want to take up right where you were before, rather than start fresh. In other words, if you were living together, they may feel very connected to you, and rather than go on 20 dates, they may want to move in after the second one, because the energy indicates that kind of connection. But like I say, it's about lessons too. And the chaos that Mercury brings is important in that it makes us look at the areas of our life where we're most impacted by neglect. Now, I'll just say it that way. The things that we don't want to look at, the things we don't want to face because we're busy thinking about other things. It's if you think about it in connection to like the chakras, people want to do the higher chakras because they want, psychic ability, and they want a third eye, and they want, connections. Nobody really wants to do the lower chakra work. They don't want to work on the root because it's not fun and it's not exciting, and it's doing your personal crap. It's moving through fear, it's moving through ego and things like that. That's kind of what I'm, not the best example, but kind of gives you some idea of what we're going to be expecting during this time. Yeah, the stuff that we kind of want to sweep under the rug because other things are more exciting or more fun come up during Mercury. So always interesting. And keep in mind that while Mercury will end on, a retrograde will end on May the 14th, the shadow period will last through June the 1st. So be sure to remain vigilant. So yeah, it is something where it's actually a gift, but it doesn't feel like it at the time. At the time, you want to return that gift, right? But it really is a gift. Okay. So does anybody have any questions or anything they want to know about the eclipse or Taurus or about Mercury retrograde? I'm going to pull some cards in just a minute, and we will dig into it if you're game. Or yeah, or I will keep going. I've got a little bit more to go, but yeah. So let me take a little drink of water here, and yeah, and if you've got questions or anything you would like to know, let me know. And then I'm going to pull some cards. Talk among yourselves, it's fun. I have been talking for 30 minutes, wow. I really have a lot to say about this. Okay, and pardon me, I have been painting, so I have paint on my hands. I have this deck, the Mastery of Love, this one, the Toltec Wisdom deck that I found when I was packing up my stuff. So I thought, yeah, let's draw some cards from that. It's a little bit different. Hi. So the eclipse more positive than the Scorpio eclipse that was just passed. Well, define positive and negative. I mean, it's one of those things. None of them none of these eclipses are meant to be dreadful or negative or cutthroat, but they can appear that way because of the changes that they bring. I would say yes, it is going to be less painful, but that's also depends on where the lessons hit you. For some people, they know they need to, leave a job, and yeah, and then the last straw will hit during this time, and they may just shrug it off and go on. For other people, it could be devastating. They know they need to leave a job, but they have, been running and hiding from it and not prepared. So that could be devastating, see? So it kind of just depends on that. I'm sorry that was a wishy-washy answer. But yeah, okay. So let's get some clarity on this eclipse. Okay. Surrender to God. Whoop. And the card is surrender. Suffering is nothing but resistance. Ooh, suffering is nothing but resistance. The more you resist, the more you suffer. It's simple. Yeah, it is. Once you surrender to God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in, there is no struggle, there is no resistance, there is no suffering. So this card is all about that. It's all about surrendering. So yeah, that's what this eclipse is totally about. Yeah, so that was pretty straightforward. I think that let's look for some information here with the Ascended Masters. I think that, like I said earlier in this video, we are taught that if we're not fighting tooth and nail for something, then we're not worthy of success in whatever it is, whether it's a relationship or a job or anything. If you're not going to give it 100%, then no. So the whole idea of surrendering and letting things flow can sound kind of alien, but in reality, life is about staying in the balance of knowing when to push and when to relax. But most people aren't taught that there is a rhythm to it. And we're always moving from one to the other. Unfortunately, it's not, like I say, it's not normally taught, and I don't really know why. Okay, so let's see what do the Ascended Masters have to say about this eclipse. So Ragosi, the teacher, aka Saint Germain. So this eclipse will act as a teacher for us, moving us forward, showing us lessons, and pointing out what we need to know. And Ragosi is considered to be the master spiritual teacher. It's another incarnation of Saint Germain. And this is all about finding our divine higher self, being the best we can be, being present, being open to the lessons. And I mean, if you put the two together, it's like surrender and the teacher will appear. So yeah, surrender and the lessons will appear. They may not be easy, but they're exactly what we need and probably what we've been asking for, but they won't come in a pretty package. They'll come in a way that probably is chaotic. So, okay, we got this deck here. Let's see what we get here. What message to go along with this energy? Oh, this one's face up, so I guess we'll pull it. It's Aries. Don't know if you can see that okay. A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. That's kind of apropos, isn't it? Apropos. So yeah, normally we go through cycles that are chapters in a book. With an eclipse, it's like starting a new book. So this is the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. And it's going to be probably a dramatic climax, something that definitely moves us forward, like it or not. So that can sound frightening, but it doesn't have to be, especially if we stop resisting, then we just take the lesson and move forward. The fiery energy of Aries has helped us, hopefully, tidy things up in our lives, whether that's get real on an exercise plan, find that new job, ask that person out, or get a hold on our finances. Hopefully we've done that in Aries season, so that now here it is, we're moving forward into Taurus season with the eclipse and everything. It's going to be, okay, we're going to process those changes. We're going to move forward from this spot with a understanding of, yes, we needed to get our finances in order so that we could start this new chapter. If we continue to ignore the problems, then yeah, it may be a situation where we're going to be forced to address them. So yeah. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? And thank you guys so much for tuning in to be here. I do appreciate it, and I'm going to apologize once again that the original stream didn't work and we had to start over. So I know that, not the best. Let's go back to this deck and see if there's any messages for anyone that's on this call or video or live stream. Okay, a message. Okay, we have several. So this one, love is unconditional. In love, there are no conditions. You get that? You love for no reason with no justification. You're free to be what you are, who you are, and allow others to be what they are. So if you're struggling with a relationship, there's your sign. Love is unconditional. This one looks like it's going to be about love too. Love is a medicine that accelerates healing. Oh, well, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. It's good to be live with you guys. I've missed you guys so much. So this one is love yourself, love your neighbor, love your enemies, but begin with self-love. You cannot love others. Hey, Madam Kate. Yeah, yeah. Well, you're welcome. Love yourself, love your neighbors, love your enemies, but begin with self-love. You cannot love others until you love yourself. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I mean, we know that. That's on bumper stickers and t-shirts. You can't love others till you love yourself. But are we doing that? Are we being intentional? Are we actually accepting ourselves? And hey, Audrey and Rosalinda. Hey. Oh, good. I'm glad I answered your question. Can we love ourselves enough to heal ourselves? And if we can't, then why do we think we should be in a relationship? And I know it's easy for me to sit here and say and sound all judgy and crap, but really, what was it? Okay. Hi. Hi. But really, we need to practice self-care and self-love. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. And that's the bottom line. That is the truth. So, okay, let me move through these and then I'll see what the Eclipse is going to bring for you. Oh, this one's about love too. They're all about love. Okay. Become a servant of love. Love is what makes you happy, and if you become the servant of love and your partner becomes the servant of love, the day will come when you can be with your partner with no guilt, no blame, no anger, and no sadness. But that requires you both to move into a higher vibration. So that's an answer to someone's question. This one also is about love. Love and honor your physical body. To create a relationship that takes you all the way to heaven, you have to accept your body completely. You have to love your body and allow it to be free to give, free to receive, without being shy, because shy is nothing but fear. There's a saying in the spiritual community, love is love and everything else is fear. And that sounds really zen and kind of, what does she mean? But if you think about it, it's true. Love is always love, and love is always easy to see, notice, and appreciate, right? If someone secretly buys your coffee at the coffee shop and you don't know who it was, that was an act of love. That wasn't anything but, it was just an act of love. But everything else is always fear-based. People do nasty things because they're afraid. They say nasty things because of fear. So if we can stay in the vibration of love and be a messenger of love and spread love, how would the world change? How would our lives change? How would just a simple act of driving down the motorway change if everyone was a master of love, if everyone was a servant of love? So yeah, deep stuff there. Okay, this one is serve the one you love. Once you decide to be a couple, okay, you are there to serve the one you love, to serve your love to your lover. In every kiss and every touch, you feel you are there to please the one you love without expecting anything back. That's a deep lesson too, of being in a relationship without expecting anything back. Because we want to be in unconditional love, but it's really difficult, especially if you've been hurt, if you've had a traumatic past. So this is about raising the vibration with your partner, but this only works if your partner raises it too. You can't be one person totally committed to the relationship and the other just showing up. So yeah, so it's very interesting, all of those cards. I mean, the deck is the mystery of love, don't get me wrong, but they're not all technically about couples and relationships. So that was interesting. So, okay, you asked the question, what is this eclipse going to bring forward for you? So let's see. There's a card. There's a card. Yoga. And New Moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. Okay, so you probably have some stuck energy. Hi. Oh, that was a message for me. Okay. So you probably have some stuck energy and it could be blocking your confidence, and it's likely to come up during this eclipse time. So practicing yoga, being present spiritually will help move the stuck energy, and then you will get your confidence back and you will be able then to achieve what you're striving for and more. It feels like it's not just a, okay, you let's say you achieved a job that you were aiming for. I think it's more than that. I think it's more success than you even thought about. So that could mean a new job, and the pay is better than you thought, or there are bonuses, or there are other perks that will also pay off. But yeah, you're going to have to move the stuck energy, and yoga is a great way to do it. But confidence is the key to success. So there lies the lesson. So that's the how, and that's the lesson. So yay, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's look at this one. There is wisdom in accepting what you are. So this one's not about love, is it? It's difficult to try to be what you're not. Being what you are doesn't require any effort. When you become wise, you accept yourself the way you are, and the complete acceptance of yourself becomes the complete acceptance of everyone else. So yeah, when we can accept who we are and stop judging ourselves and being so hard on ourselves, it's much easier to accept other people and meet them where they are. So yeah. So I hope that kind of answered your question a little bit about what you can expect for the eclipse. So is anybody else got a question? Hey, Rita Rose, glad you're here. This is one of those times when I could probably go all day on these topics because there is so much. The things that we need to do. Oh, thank you. I hope it helped. Yeah. There's so much we can do during this time. During Mercury, the best thing to do is clean out closets, donate stuff that we no longer need, trash what's not repairable, those types of things. Get organized. We don't start new projects during Mercury retrograde. We finish them. So if there is a big project going on in your life, this is the time to finish it. And once it's done, you'll be free. It's just that simple. But generally, it's the things we're putting off. So if you have, let's say, your washing machine is on its last leg, something mundane like that, chances are it will probably break for good during Mercury, which will push you forward into getting a new one. But large purchases are not actually recommended during this time. If you need to repair the machine, yes. If you want to buy a new one and it's going to be a significant purchase, a big upgrade, then I would definitely do the homework, check prices, check for any hidden fees, read consumer reports on what works and doesn't work, what's highly rated, and get insurance, because chances are good it will come damaged or break within 48 hours just because it is Mercury. But large purchases such as buying a vacation now to take, let's say in December, not really the thing to do, because a lot could happen between now and then. You definitely want to purchase the insurance. If you're starting a new job, you should be fine because you've already done the process, right? You've already sent resumes, you've already had meetings, you've already had interviews, so therefore it's a project that was already begun. There are people, though, that do find this is a very easy time, and usually if you'll look at those people's charts, they were born during Mercury retrograde, which is interesting too. So it's not all doom and gloom, though, and I don't want this video to come off that way. It's actually a very proactive time when we can get a lot of work done, we can move forward in our lives really easily, and we can achieve a lot of success. We just have to roll with it and move out of our comfort zone, which it's not easy, but it's something that we need to do to stay healthy too. So let's see, what Ascended Master should we work with? Let's say for Taurus season. Osiris. Whoa! That was heavy, wasn't it? Dun dun dun! Excitement! Can you see that okay? That's like too far, isn't it? There we go. A little bit better. So, Osiris, father, husband, brother, son. Osiris is from the Egyptian pantheon, and I would suggest that you read about him and look at the lessons associated with him. And that might be the Ascended Master to work with during Taurus season. So I can see that. I could see that totally. So let's see what Ascended Master should we work with for this Mercury retrograde, which is not something we would normally do, but hey, why not? Let's ask. White Tara, purification. Okay, that's also a good one. It's time to get clear and clean up our stuff. As I said, this is the time to clean out the closets, get rid of the clutter. It's also a time to detox our life. And that doesn't just mean food. It's detoxing the toxic stuff out of our life, whether that's a relationship, whether that's TV that leaves you feeling icky after you've watched it, music that also is not really helping you, that may be angering you, or anything that you're reading or consuming that is pushing you to be unbalanced, unhealthy, unhappy. It's time to get clear on that. Same thing with friends. So if you have people in your circle that are toxic, but you kind of overlook them, or you want to help them be better, but they keep taking advantage of you, this may be the time to let that go as well. So yeah, White Tara is a great Ascended Master to work with anytime. So let's see. I guess we can end this. I'll go the full hour, so that's 9 more minutes. I can't believe I've been talking this long. So let's look at this deck and see if there's any more messages for anybody that's here. Oh, Rita Rose. That name just popped into my head. Let's see if we have a message for you. Okay, got that one. That one. That one. Whoa. I'm telling you, the energy is like that. Sorry for the vertigo there, people. Okay, the first card was, you can live in heaven right now. Rita, woo. Heaven or hell is here and now. Ooh, that's powerful, isn't it? Because we create it. You don't need to wait to die. If you take responsibility for your own life, for your own actions, yes, oh God, you take responsibility for your own life, for your own actions, then your future is in your hands, and you can live in heaven while your body is alive. That was deep, wasn't it? Oh, Jesus. Okay. The Ascended Master was the power of joy. Look at that. The power of joy. So you having fun? Are you laughing? Are you enjoying yourself? If not, why not? Take some time to take care of you and put that laughter back in your life. Hang out with people that make you laugh. Hang out with people that feed your soul. And this one, hold on to your vision. So this eclipse is probably going to show you that yes, you can have everything you want, everything, but you're going to have to make some decisions, and you're going to have to be proactive and then hold on to your vision and not let other people talk you out of it or take the reins in your life. You're in charge, even though it may not feel like it. I have been laughing and it does make me, yes, laughter is great medicine. It really is. And I feel like if this whole healing thing doesn't work, I'm going to become a comedian. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that was a joke. Haha. But yeah, so we're at a time of great change. we can either be afraid and hide from it, or we can step out there and shape the path that it flows in. And that's what this is about, not just for Rita Rose, but for all of us. We need to hold on to our vision of a higher vibration, of a time of love, of community, and of a global coming together. And we will have that ability during this time. So this is about letting go of the fear, embracing the future, and realizing that we're either living in hell or heaven because of the choices that we're making. So if somebody convinced us that we had to make these choices, it's time to go unpack that and look at it, because you should be in charge of your own life, and no one would pick to live in hell. I'm changing and I don't seem to have much in common with others. Rosalinda, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think changing spiritually is very hard if you don't have a community. And you're welcome to join our community here. And I will try and be more present here as well, because, you know, hey, come on over. I'm never here. Doesn't really help, does it? I've just been really busy with clients lately. But having a spiritual community that you can talk to people with about changes that are going on in your life, or things that you just want to know more about, is a blessing. It is such a blessing. And we do have a pretty active community, both that meet up both physically as well as meet up online, and also come to the videos and, you know, events and things. And you're welcome to join. Everyone is welcome to join us. If you're here on this video, I kind of consider you part of the Serenity community. It's not easy to be on the spiritual path in a society that is driven by materialism, capitalism, or totalitarianism for that matter. It's not easy because everyone is walking a different path than you are. No one really wants to put the time in for self-care. No one really wants to talk about how they can improve the situation. It's easier to just overindulge, whether that is spending, gambling, whether that is overeating, whether that is drugs and alcohol, than to fix the crap. And a lot of people will bitch about stuff. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, join us. Join us. A lot of people will complain about things, but very few people will talk about solutions. And spirituality, we like to talk about solutions rather than talk about fear, and rather than talk about what could go wrong. Not to say we don't ever, because we do, because sometimes we get messages too. Yes, welcome to our community. Welcome, everyone is welcome to. Thank you all. It is one of those things where we evolve together, or none of us do. We're in this together. So that's going to be one of the lessons of this eclipse as well. So yeah, that was like, Sarah, get off your soapbox there and get back with the reading. Okay. I think that we're probably coming to the end of the video. I am getting tired, but it was great to be here with everyone and to talk about this energy and to talk about all the astrological things happening. I want to express my gratitude to all of you for joining me on this cosmic adventure. And that's what it feels like. It feels like an adventure, doesn't it? And it should. I mean, when we go on an adventure, it can be somewhat overwhelming and sometimes frightening too, but generally we're excited. We're excited because we're learning stuff and we're moving forward and we're evolving, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening. I hope you found the information and the predictions helpful in getting a deeper understanding of this event and how it may impact your life. Oh, thank you, Madam Kate. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So, guys, remember to stay curious. Don't believe something just because I said it. Go research it, okay? Don't believe it just because some other astrologer said it or some other spiritual leader said it. Research it for yourself. Go and learn more. Go and ask questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Your reading was fine, Reader. It was fine. It's one of those things where the truth is the truth. I mean, we may change it a little bit with our own perception, but still the truth is the truth. It doesn't matter who says it, and it should hold up to investigation and to questioning. So stay curious and navigate the energies with empowerment. I want you to have information so you can make the best decisions. That doesn't mean you have to follow my advice, not at all. But the more information you have, the better decisions that you'll make. And that goes for all of us. So thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated for more astrology related content, as well as other healing stuff on this channel. And thank you guys once again. I probably will, I have quite a few shorts in the queue, but I don't have any long videos right now because, okay, Rita, and because actually I've been really busy with work, working full-time as a healer. So there's that. I will get back on track though, and I hope to at least do one long form video and maybe some readings weekly, but it's probably going to be in May before I catch back up. So thank you guys for staying with the channel. I do appreciate that. I've been, you know, missing in action here. But anyway, thank you once again, and until next time, Reiki blessings, take care, and thank you guys so much for tuning in and being part of the community. I love you all. Reiki blessings. Bye-bye.